This has been an emotional case, and it's also been a very difficult one, a very complicated one, because of the amount of evidence you've both got. And you've both got a huge amount of evidence because this means a lot to both of you. I've heard what you've had to say. And for you, this isn't about the land necessarily. It isn't even necessarily about Knotweed or even about Paul. It's about what this ongoing case, and particularly lawyers' letters, and the stress of it has done to you and your family. It's very, very difficult, and I see that. First part of your case is for £1,100, which is for the upkeep. I'm going to call it the square of land, and we both know what I mean by that, the 100-metre square bit. Now, in respect of that square of land, I accept that legally, according to the land registry document that I've seen, I am satisfied that, in theory, Paul would be liable to pay you for the upkeep of that small piece of land. However, you're unable to demonstrate to me, in law, that you've come to any expense for maintaining that land. And more importantly, you haven't got any records, and therefore I'm not in a position to look at Paul and say what proportion of the expenses that you've incurred keeping up that square of land are his. So to that extent, I have to dismiss that aspect of your claim. The second aspect of your claim is for £3,000 for removing the knotweed. There is a prevalent knotweed problem, and in the circumstances, therefore, you wouldn't be able to demonstrate, even with the best will in the world, that the knotweed being there was his fault. Therefore, your aspect of the claim, the £3,000, also fails for that very same reason. So there we are, in a situation where we find ourselves in court, where, Julie, I can't award you anything, and Paul, I can't award you anything. Some people might consider that going away from court with nothing, but not in Judge Rinder's court, because I'm going to give you a little piece of free advice. Go to mediation. Leave here today, listen and hear each other. Paul has also suffered, Julie, to some extent. I understand you're emotional. You agree with me?
I agree.
And when you're emotional, you don't necessarily behave in the most rational way. Julie has also suffered as well. It seems to me that this is the right and appropriate moment, bearing in mind you can't recover any money, to start moving forward and acting reasonably. The order of this court is nothing to you, Julie, and nothing to you, Paul, except go and talk to each other moving forward.